Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, man? It is your boy right here, MMA Reloaded, and you are tuned in. We are live for another episode of MMA Reloaded on the mic. It is episode 16, folks, and I thank you for joining me once again. Of course, our last episode was it was fun to speak with Madas Fleming. That's once again, folks, the Latvian Express. But today, folks, we have we go through something different. You know what I mean? And something different, folks, means we sit with the number 13 ranked pro bantamweight in the UK and Ireland. He is just coming off a triangle choke victory at Cage Steel 25. He is the reigning Cage Steel bantamweight champion. He is Adam the Samurai Bramhald. And folks, if you don't know this youngster, you need to get to know him. He is a fantastic fighter, and he's going to be the future of British MMA. So, folks, we are going to do the particulars right now, and Adam Bramhald is going to join us, ladies and gentlemen. So, don't go anywhere. Don't stop your videos. Don't tune out because we'll be back in a So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, man. We got to do the particulars. You know what I'm saying? So, folks, we are sitting down with Adam Bramhall, the number 13 ranked pro bantamweight in the UK. So, you know what, folks? This week is one of the best weeks, in my opinion, to be an MMA fan. This week and next week. Tonight, folks, you got one championship coming back for their third appearance live on TNT. You have great fights, man. You have John Wayne Parr and Nikki Holskin, which is going to probably steal the show. Everyone's looking forward to that one. Over 250 fights between them, 20 world championships, two of the best strikers, legendary strikers, accomplished strikers. As far as that goes, these two guys are probably unrivaled, arguably. You know, then you got Bellator 2. Then you got UFC 261. Yeah, folks, this weekend where the fans come back and three championship fights headline the card. Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal 2. Valentina Shevchenko comes back for another defense of her UFC Women's Flyweight Championship against Jessica Andrade. And number 3, Thug Rose Namajunas and Weili Zhang, they collide for what is now a very, very anticipated fight after the political comments that have been thrown down by Rose Namajunas and the communist shit, Um, and the communist shit. So you know what? It's gonna be one of those things where you never really know how that's gonna play out, because talk is talk, but when you get in there, fight. The fight is a fight, bro. And we are live. We are going live, folks. Adam Bramhald. Let's get it going on, man. Yes, man. Yes, mate. How's it going, Adam?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, yo.
Just give me 1 sec, mate. Let me just turn this volume up and that.
No worries.
How's it going, mate? All good? Yeah.
Having a beer. Get a beer for the occasion.
You can't get any better than that, though, can you, man? A pint of fucking Stella, mate.
No, absolutely. At the bottom, mate. Oh, it's so crisp and tasty.
Yeah, fucking you can't get the better sensation, and you just come off training, right, as well.
Yeah, and I've been back training this week, like just ticking over, because it'll be a while till next fight, so just work on some stuff and that.
Yeah. So I see you. I see your Instagram, man. You've been taking advantage of the pubs being open and that.
I have a very close relationship with my local pub, you see. So, okay. I've got a tattoo of them on me somewhere. Yeah, and they've had it rough because of all lockdown and that. So you just go after work and that and show a bit of support.
No, definitely, man.
It's a very tight community that we've got.
Yeah, definitely, bro. No, of course. You gotta stay close with the pub, man. Who knows, you might get a few free pints, you know what I'm saying?
I get a free pint every fight. Every fight I get a free pint.
Do you? Man, I need to come back.
I've got them on one of my gum shields as well. You know, just we're good pals. We're good pals.
All right, man. That's sick. Bro, I mean, it's good to have you on the show, man. Of course, you had a lot of eyes on you, April the 10th, where you had a lot of eyes on you, bro, on the 10th, where you competed cage steel 25, the A City, the triangle choke finish. But before we touch on that, bro, for those fans who don't know who Adam Bramhald is, how did it all start for you, brother, in mixed martial arts and combat sports, man?
I mean, it's pretty simple. There's not like a big story behind. Well, my dad was a professional boxer. He had 164 pro boxing fights, my dad. So like there were like a lot of, I think at one point he had the record for like the most professional boxing fights until someone overtook it. Sort of like 90s, I think. But so it was always kind of in there for me. But you know, we did a bit, me and my dad together when I was younger and that. And then it was simple, really. My mate from college just kind of said, "Do you want to come to this? Because I know you've been into your boxing and that, but why don't you come to this?" And I didn't even know what it was, to be honest. And I went, and actually my first session was a grappling session. So my mate called Rob, a good pal, and he took me, and and it was just kind of one of them. Like I did it, and I was like, "Oh, it's quite fun that." And then I wasn't young. I was 17, so I wasn't old, but I wasn't like these people that start when they're chuffing 10, doing all sorts. Like it was kind of just like I kind of went, and it was one of them where I just kind of went and never stopped going. Like kind of just connected with it straight away.
That's it, man. So you fell in love with it basically straight.
Yeah, and like I'd never even really watched the UFC or anything like that. Like after that, I kind of just got obsessed with it and watched as much as I can, and just kind of studied. And like I got ready to fight pretty quickly, I think, because I was just like obsessed with it. Like now, I don't even know who anyone in the UFC is. I don't even care. You know, when fighting becomes like your life, like I can't be asked to even watch it anymore, mate, unless it's a big one.
Nah, yeah, man. Then if it's a big thing, man, you got to get the booze out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like doing that when I'm fighting. Actually, I like doing that. I like staying up and watching it and just definitely. Like chilling and doing that. But you know, because you're not going out, or whatever. So I like doing that.
Yeah, man. Nah,
other than that, I don't really follow it like a true fan.
Okay. Okay, no, yeah, totally, bro. I mean, for in your opinion, Adam, like you say, like you started off when you were 17. Do you think for any young fighter coming up, is there a right age to really start training MMA, bro? Or,
I mean, I think it's good for you to start some kind of martial arts when you're younger. I think it teaches you a lot, like about who you can be and your discipline and all that stuff like that. It stops you being a bully, stops you getting bullied. I think that's a really good way to go. I wish I'd have had that when I was younger. I wish I'd have been allowed to box. Like my mum didn't want me to box because she'd been through it all with my dad. I wish I'd have done that really, but it's just good for you, like as a person, I think, to have that martial arts. But I don't think MMA is not necessarily a young man's sport. I don't think, like, you don't, all the best fighters in the UFC are sort of in their 30s, then lower 30s, I think. I think that's when they get to their best. But I know, like, with the exception, like, you've got John Jones, who is, in my opinion, the best fighter of all time. Ability-wise. He's just a bit of a dick sometimes, isn't he? He lets me down sometimes. But ability-wise, I think John Jones is, like, the best fighter. And he won, I think he was the youngest UFC champion when he won it.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, most of these guys are 33 or something like that when they're at their best, I think, because it's a lot of knowledge and a lot of learning to go into it.
So say, because like you have some guys who do start at young, you know, like the youngest UFC fighter. Like when Sage Northcutt came in, he was like 19, and then you had Yair Rodriguez was like 22 when he first started in UFC.
Yeah, I think nowadays, because the sport's become so much more popular, like, I mean, it was growing when I started, but it was also like, it was still pretty new. Like, it wasn't new. Like, it wasn't like it was sort of mid-90s and stuff like that, where nobody had a clue what it was or whatever. But it was still new. Like, people, they didn't really have any fighters in from the UK. Like, it was very rare to get a UK fighter in, or a European fighter, which was quite rare. They were, because most of their shows are still in America, but I think nowadays people are getting into it younger because it's so popular. And we owe, like, obviously, to people like Conor McGregor and stuff like that, because he's brought those eyes on it. As much as I dislike McGregor, he's done a lot for the sport. He's done a lot of, like, bringing people to it and expanding it.
I've always said that the eyes that McGregor brought on the sport are the wrong eyes. He brought him on for the wrong kind of reason.
Yeah, right at first, and I thought he did a lot to get us. I mean, I remember when I first started, I was watching Conor McGregor on, like, Clan Wars or whatever it was and stuff like that, and then I watched him on Cage Warriors, and then he got to the UFC, and, like, I was like, shit, I know who that guy is. And then he brought this massive, like, train of hype towards it, and then I think it wasn't too bad. It was outspoken and that, and he was having a laugh. But then he kind of, like, got to it once he won the belt. I thought that's when he kind of ruined it for himself. But
you think if he never ruined the belt, he would have never turned into a dickhead?
Yeah. Well, I think there's always been a little bit of dick in there, but it just got the dick level just got filled up. The more famous and the more rich you got.
I checked this out, Adam, bro. Anyone like say me and you, had a fight, and it was fucking box office, prime time, the whole joint. With anybody can swear at anyone else, you know what I mean? Anybody can diss anyone, anybody can cuss anyone's family, you know, and I think nobody had ever seen that since, like, Chael Sonnen or something, you know what I mean? So I think that sort of sold Conor McGregor onto.
Yeah, and he was the best there. I like talk because I love Chael Sonnen. Like, what a guy he is. Yeah. Like, you try not to like him, but I love the way he does it.
Oh man, I love it.
Because he doesn't go too far really with it. I don't think he does the right amount.
Yeah, it's the way it comes out. Yeah,
he's not chuffing trolleys at bus windows and stuff like that.
Oh, fuck that. Yeah. Yeah. Who the hell wants to throw a trolley at a bus window? You injure 7 fights as well.
I like the talking, like Conor McGregor's press conference. I used to love them.
Yeah, man.
But just went a bit far. Depends who he's fighting as well. Yeah, it's weird. Like when he fights someone like Eddie Alvarez, and like Eddie Alvarez is the nicest person on the planet, and he was just like he just didn't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know how to deal with it. Like, I remember when I proper ate my own words, like when he fought Aldo. Like, oh God. I remember I was actually in town in Donny, and this guy in the toilet was like, "Who do you think's going to win, Conor McGregor or Aldo?" I was like, "Listen, put everything on Aldo. He's so much better." And we was like, "Well, we got a taxi home, ready to watch it." And I got home to turn it on, and he'd already been knocked out.
It was over.
It was over. That guy didn't put loads of money on it.
You know what, man? You're not the only one. You're not the only one who thought Aldo was going to take him out, man. And,
but again, McGregor's talking won him that fight. He made Aldo want to run at him, you know.
That's it. He slipped over a banana skin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, proper Mario Kart stuff.
But so let's move. So for us, yeah, Adam, in the UK, nobody really knew that you know what we were about until Michael Bisping came about. Yeah,
definitely Bisping. Yeah.
Ultimate Fighter number 4. Yeah, 3. Yeah, Michael Bisping came out and he did business, and I think that's what really pioneered MMA for us. You know, in the UK.
Yeah, he was. But I thought he was the founding person for UK MMA, really.
100%. And then
made that level.
You had Ross Pearson. We got Danny Mitchell. We got the whole Sol Rogers. You know, we've had a lot of veterans, man, coming in British MMA and UK MMA.
Yeah.
So, my question basically is, what are your thoughts, bro, on how it's basically evolved since the Ultimate Fighter? Because you got guys now that Darren Till, you got a new attitude now. I think a lot of people are perceiving us, taking us a lot more seriously.
We've got a lot of guys in the UFC now, like, just I think mainly, I mean, you can say it's to do with Bisping and stuff like that, but I mean, he'll have made the UFC want to come there for sort of local ticket sales and stuff like that. But it's basically the more the UFC grew, the more they could expand. So they expanded enough to where they could come into the UK because they didn't know enough people in the UK to put a show on predominantly UK and European fighters or whatever. Yeah, I mean, they expanded, and the more they expand, the better opportunities we get. Like I always thought with Danny Mitchell, my coach, like if he was around, same with Jay Furness, who's our other coach, like if they were around sort of 5 years later, they would have been in the UFC for loads of fights. You know what I mean? It's because it was so difficult to get there from their position. So I'm just lucky I was 10 years younger than them when I started. So
So basically, we go from the UFC and we talk about Cage Steel 25. Yeah, in my opinion, that card, bro, featured the brightest, the hungriest stars because it was the first.
I think they did well to put a good card together because it's not an easy situation, and there was some good fights. I managed to peek through curtain at a few of them, and I knew a lot of the fighters on the card as well, and they were just good fights. Like I thought, the good matchups, you know. People performed the best they could under that circumstance. Like, I can't imagine anything worse than going into that third round with no crowd. Like, my mate Tom Crosby fought, and then Kiru fought with Scott. And it's like, Kiru and Scott's fight and Tom's fight were quite difficult fights, and you've got to pick yourself up and go into that third round when you've got no crowd lifting you up. You know, I can't imagine anything worse than doing that. I got in there and I just thought, you know what, I want to get this out the fucking way. I am not staying in here. Like, this is shit. I need the crowd, I think.
So Adam, bro, that's basically what I wanted to ask you, man. How did you feel when so be it Cage Steel's first event after lockdown and when the restrictions started to ease up? How did you feel when you got a call to come and compete, bro?
For me, I wasn't that excited about it, but with us, we knew that I needed to fight before May because of the rankings, right? Yeah. Which there's not Tapology, a different one. They kick you off after 14 months, yeah? So it had been 14 months in May that I'd fought, so we needed to get in there and get one done. So we stayed relevant and stayed on that ranking system.
Oh, shit.
You know, that the big promotions use. It's like, it's an algorithm, that one. So it's like, to get on there, you have to beat someone that's on there. So we needed to just get one in. Like, so I was just like, Danny was like, "We'll put this show on," and I was like, "Yeah, just put me down for it." And I was like, "Doesn't matter who it is, just we need to be on there." But yeah, I mean, I felt good getting there. You know, it was weird. You got there, you did your COVID testing car park.
Yeah.
Then you had to wait in your car. I had to wait in my own car for half an hour till results come in. That was nervy part for me. Like, I don't get nervous fighting. I'm the most relaxed person when it comes to fighting. I do not care. I was just nervous about getting to the fight from that point. And then obviously that went fine. Did medical, and then you had like a little tent outside. With like 4 mats. It was just really weird. Like, normally with cage steel, I've been with cage steel a long time.
Yeah.
I must have fought, I don't know how many I've fought now, but it's a lot. And I love the event there. The atmosphere they get at the Dome, especially when they do there, which is most of the time. Like, I walk around the crowd, I'm selling a lot of tickets. I have sort of sorry, my voice is going.
Go for it. No.
I have sort of 100 people at the Dome watching me.
Yeah.
And I just love soaking it up and walking around. God, I think I'm losing my voice, you know.
Oh shit.
No, I'm good.
You cool?
I'm good. Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. It's cool, brother. It's cool.
Yeah, so I was soaking the atmosphere up, walking around talking to people, just enjoying it. And you don't have that there, obviously, because there's no one there. Just weird.
So how was it? Like, did you, like, after the fight, do you have to leave the arena straight
Well,
away?
I kind of stayed and cornered a few fights, so I was all right. And then I got to watch the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I managed to stay and help warm up a few guys and that.
Okay.
But, you know, if you were watching, you were kind of just poking through curtain.
So, bro, let's talk about your fight, because obviously it was sort of a piss take, yeah, for a while, because you had a change of opponent. You were supposed to fight Ricardo Moraes. You ended up fighting Ryan Taylor.
Yeah, fuck that Ricardo Moraes guy. He's such a dick. He's done that to me twice now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he did it to me ages ago. Little dick.
Bro,
I'll tell you the story. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to, but
go for it.
This is basically what happened. He weighed in. Weighed in, so all good.
Yeah.
The one thing you want is your opponent to weigh in, so it's all fine.
Yeah.
Then I think Danny's got someone on the way to London to pick him up, because that's where he lives. And he messages saying, "Listen, I've fallen over and I've hurt my foot."
What the fuck?
I mean, it gets a lot worse. He said, "I'll still come and fight, but you'll have to tell Adam to shoot a takedown on me in the first round and we'll fight from there." I mean, this guy's like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I don't know what he's done. He's obviously like looked me up last minute and thought, okay, well, I don't want to do the stuff on the feet with this guy and just shot himself. I just don't understand, if you're a professional fighter, how your ass can fall out that badly, like the day before a fight. Like, I just do not understand. And I didn't find out about this until I was there. Like, the other guy I was fighting was warming up next to me when I found out. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was really weird.
So you fought Ryan Taylor, yeah? How did that feel to you when you heard about Ricardo pulling out and you had to fight Ryan Taylor? What was it, like 24 hours, 48 hours before the event?
I found out an hour and a half before the fight. I didn't find out a day before. Danny wouldn't have told me because he wouldn't want me to be worried about it or anything like that. But I found out literally. I was warming up. I'd started warming up, and then he said, "Oh, by the way, them Brazilians aren't coming." Oh, like, fuck's sake. And, just can't. Makes you feel kind of flat.
No, it does.
Yeah.
So when it happened, yeah, when so in the fight, yeah, how were you feeling then against Ryan? Were you sort of like going with the flow, instinct and adrenaline?
Yeah,
That's
not someone I know anything about. I knew I could beat him on the feet, but
yeah,
that sounds. I think I can beat anyone on the feet, really, in my weight class. But like, I don't know the guy. He was a lot bigger than me, and so I thought, and he kind of just fucking ran at me. I was like, well, whatever. I'll clinch with him, and then we went to the ground, and I thought, well, I may as well just jump on something because I couldn't be bothered, to be honest. Like like leading up to it, I felt all right. Like warming up, I felt pretty good, felt sharp and ready, and that. And then when it was like they announced your name, and there were no roar from the crowd or big cheer like I'm used to with fighting for cage steel.
Yeah,
I was like, oh fuck this, I'm gonna get in and out without really, because I like to do cool things, right? I like to get people excited on the edge of their seat and whatever, but
yeah,
bothered, So I just thought, went to the ground. I saw an open. I thought I'll just jump for this triangle. I mean, it was a good triangle.
they were beautiful.
It was a lovely setup. Like it's a bit risky to do it from the top, but I've done that, thousands of times in the gym, so I knew I'd land it. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to get out there. It was whatever a minute.
Yeah, man. So your jiu-jitsu, bro. Obviously, you're a great striker. Yeah, you knew what you were doing on the feet. Obviously, the taller guy coming in, bigger guy coming in. Not physically, of course, because you were physically big. Yeah, but you were taller, you were longer.
Yeah.
So coming in and training for this fight, yeah, bro. Did you sort of focus on jiu-jitsu? Did you plan on taking it down? And
my plan for every fight is to keep it on the feet.
Okay.
There is not a fight that I can imagine doing where I'd try and force it to get to the ground, because it's just not. I've trained Thai boxing with John Pop, my coach, who's actually a Thai stadium champion in Thailand.
Yeah.
For 9 years, I've trained. I just think I'm better than all these people on the feet.
Yeah. And then
so for most fights, I work on staying on the feet.
Yeah.
I don't really do much striking in my MMA gym. I do that all with John Pop. But we it's takedown defense, and it's I try and do a lot of jiu-jitsu just in case. But that triangles and stuff like that is where I really excel on the ground.
So
that's what I like to look for. I've got long legs.
Yeah, you do, man, and that's pretty much your advantage, really, on the ground, right, off your back, and that transition was sweet, bro. It was sweet, yeah, because you used your legs to set that shit up.
Yeah,
you used the whole,
like triangles and Darce chokes and anaconda chokes. That's where I'm really good on the ground, and if you give me an opportunity to get one, I'll get it. I'll get it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's all about taking the opportunity. And do you think, all right, cool, we mentioned about the crowd and how you feed off the crowd, normally, Adam, but do you think that without the crowd there, you were more focused on pretty much finishing the fight and doing what you do to finish?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, because I feed off the energy of a crowd, like I feed off what their reaction and stuff like that. I love, when I'm in there, I just love doing something that makes them cheer, like, whoa, like, or anything like that. I just feed off that. It's like it's an entertainment thing for me. I'm here to entertain. I'm not here to just win. I'm not here to, grind out boring wins and stuff like that. I'm here to entertain at the end of the day. I want people to remember me for doing cool shit and knocking people out and spinning shit and all this cool stuff. That's what I want. Yeah. I'm not bothered. Winning is obviously the important thing, but even if I'd rather lose a fight and that people have be talking about some of the cool stuff that I did than win by just laying on someone for 15 minutes,
But do you think there's anything wrong with a guy like using his wrestling and laying on someone for 15?
No, not at all. It's just not for me.
It was like what Ibrahim did to Staff, basically. Yeah, if you think
Ibrahim's different, I think I love watching Khabib. Yeah. I absolutely love it, and I love watching Ibrahim as well. Yeah. Or someone like Mokaev, like those kind of guys. They take you down and rely on you, but they try and beat you up as well. And it's good to watch, and it's really technical. It's not like they just hold you, you know, they're working and they're doing stuff at the same time.
Like,
you know, I was
so impressed with him. I was so impressed with
him.
I
was.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually know him, like, but obviously Staffs is our guy. But I remember he fought Jack Holt, who fought on the same card.
Yeah.
And I thought he had holes, like, in his top game. I thought Jack could have got some submission attempts off him. And when he did go for him, I thought he looked like he could have got them if he'd have gone for him more often than that. But I think he's really improved Ibrahim as well. And I think he's going to be a really good pro when he decides to go pro.
He wasn't just beating Staff up. He was going for different takedowns. So
yeah, Staff's one of my main, well, probably like 3 main sparring partners, and Staffs is one of them. And I think, and his wrestling's good, and his jiu-jitsu's good, and it just kind of had an answer for it all, and it was really weird to see that, because I know how good Staffs is.
Yeah.
I just thought, I thought he'd improved a lot since I last watched him fight. But he's one of them. Ibrahim, like, he works really, he trains hard, he trains a lot. I don't think he has a day off, really.
So, but all respect to Staff, to be honest. The guy's not, he wasn't the champ for nothing, you know what I mean? Respect to him, man. But it was a great fight overall. You saw the improvements in both guys' game, you know what I mean? And
I think I'd like to see him do it. I mean, I wouldn't want to do this as an amateur, but I'd like to see him do it over 5 rounds, you know.
Definitely.
I think they both could do it. I think they both are player can fit enough to do it.
Well, cardio was mad, yeah. Definitely.
I thought Staffs looked good in the 3rd round, like coming out for that 3rd. I mean, he's fresh. Like, he trains hard. Like, he does work hard. I think both of them work really hard. I'd definitely love to see it over 5 rounds. You never know what could happen in them last 2.
5, you never know, man. Because Stav looked active in the 3rd round. Yeah.
Yeah, 3rd round I thought
he came out, opened up, landing some really good kicks.
I think the thing is with Staffs is he's a bit not nervous, but like tentative at first. He doesn't know how to start the way he wants to finish, you know. Well, they're amateurs, you know. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna find their way into that, how to start and how to settle and stuff like that.
So Adam, bro, let's talk about your ranking, bro. Let's talk about that number 13, man. Because bro, being top 15 UK pro bantamweight, that's crazy, man. I mean, what would you like to see next? Would you like to see a Cage Warriors offer, or what do you think, man?
Well, I'm actually under contract with Cage still.
Yeah.
We signed a 3-fight deal last year.
Okay.
But we've only done 1 fight on that because this one didn't count because we couldn't have crowds there.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 more fights left with them. And then it's just like where we end up after that, because I know if we get 2 good wins, we'll be pretty close to getting signed to somewhere big. I don't know about Cage Warriors for me. I'm not sure. It depends. I think I'd go to Brave. If the UFC didn't pick me up after that, I think I'd like Brave. I think I'd like to fight for Brave. You know, that'd be my go-to.
Yeah, man.
But I'm hoping, like, if we get 2 decent wins on this contract, you know, we'll get into like top 150 in the world, and we'll be near enough ready for the big league, you know.
What are your thoughts on Brave, man? Because you got big stars there, man. Plus, you got like name brand guys from the Middle East, you know, and you got Oscar.
I like Brave. Just like when you watch a show, you just want that production. You want to watch it and it look really good.
It's banging, yeah.
And you want good people on there, and
yeah, man.
Brave's got a good division, you know, and I think I'd do well in it. It's a division that I look at and I think it's good, but there's definitely room in it for me to get high up their system, and then hopefully get picked up by the UFC or whatever.
Because most of their shows are in the Middle East, how would you feel about traveling up and fighting down there, man?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's that crowd aspect, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I went and fought in Sweden. I enjoyed that. That was really good.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But like the Swedish people are insane. Like, I mean, I cannot express how much I love the Swedish people. Like, they were cheering for me. Yeah, I was fighting a Swedish guy, and they were cheering for me, like, just because they enjoyed what I was doing. They're like proper fans of the sport, and it's just a country that I loved fighting in. I'd love to go back and fight there. You know, I want to get to different places and compete. That's what fighting's about. It's about traveling the world and seeing different places whilst, you know, doing your sport and getting paid for it and stuff like that. That's what it's about for me.
Definitely. And then it's loving what you do too, right, bro? I mean, like, if you don't have passion for MMA or you don't want to put in the work or commitment, then there's no point really being in there, right? I mean, what's the point?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just the experience of fighting is good. I really like actually like being actually in the fight is not. It's not always that fun. I mean, it's hard. It's tiring, and you know you get punched in the face. So, but like the whole, you know, like from just weighing in and just the weekend is just really good for me. And like when you're fighting away, I think my best fights have been away from home. Some of them, but like I love fighting at Doncaster, but that's a different kind of thing. But fighting away from home, there is like sort of lift of pressure off you. And I really like that. Like, I think I kind of like I buzz off the crowd, but I also perform because I don't have a crowd. You know, I know everyone's watching, so like it's
yeah, of course, man, of course.
Well, I love going away from home and just having a day out and that, or a weekend away. Like, it's good.
So when you fought in Sweden, Adam, what was that experience like for you, bro? And how would you compare it to fighting in the UK here, man?
I can't express how much I love that. Like, just like, you know, everyone I met was cool. Swedish people are really nice. Like, it's just in their nature to be nice people.
Yeah.
The show, like I said, like everyone was cheering for. They weren't cheering for a person. They just loved like the sport, and they were cheering for the sport. Like, I ended up winning a split decision. But when they said it was a split decision, they actually booed the other guy because they thought I'd won.
Ooh.
It was like they're Swedish and he was Swedish. It was really weird.
Yeah.
And I was just like, shit, these guys just love it, don't they? They just love the sport. That to them, it's a sport. It's not fighting. Whereas like in England, I mean, I love all my mates and that. And I love the English crowds because they're just English people. They just want blood. But you know, it's not like that for them. It's not like a piss up and all that. It's like going to watch a game of football. You know what I mean? Like, and they want to watch it like that. That's how they value it.
Yeah. And so when we talk about like fighting in, we talk about fighting in different promotions, Adam. And of course, you've done that in your amateur career. You've done that as a pro and fought at different shows. You traveled at different shows. Have you had like similar experiences in those shows as you've had in Cage Steel, or is it different? Is it a different experience?
Yeah, it's a very different experience. I mean, Cage Steel is my home show. I've fought on Cage Steel for my second amateur fight, and I can't remember how many times I've fought now, but it must be 11, 12 times or something I've fought on Cage Steel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Out of whatever 20 odd fights, I don't know. But yeah, I just love Cage Steel because of the atmosphere and everyone gets behind me because it's a home show and everyone comes.
100%.
Just the atmosphere and the event. I like the event. I like the build up. I like being there and stuff like that. But like, there is something about an away day that's really good. I like an away day.
You compare it.
You just take a few people with you, and that's all you need. My guys are louder than 50 other guys anyway. I just need a couple.
So, but when you do go to different shows, and you know, does that competing on Cage Steel stage sort of you know, make you prepared for competing anywhere else, because it is that sort of pinnacle?
I mean, to be fair, like my first fight, I was the away guy. I had 4 people come with. I think 5 people come and watch me, and I was fighting a lot. It was in Barnsley. I fought a guy from Barnsley, and he had like 40 people.
Oh shit!
All cheering. They were going crazy for him.
Yeah.
Well, they're all from Barnsley, so they're all terrifying. But yeah, and I won, and it was just like, I don't know, mate. The plan for me is if I'm the away guy, I want people to be cheering for me by the 3rd round. You know.
Okay.
It's if they enjoy the sport, they should be cheering for me by the end of the fight anyway. That's I don't want to sound like a dick, sound arrogant, but not necessarily not the person you're fighting people, but like people that are just watching it. That's how you get like fans, by fighting in front of different people and making them like you while they're watching you. Even if they don't know you.
And that's it, bro. That's it, man. And especially, you know what, mate, in the modern era, yeah, in the social media era, especially, yeah, you know what, and you know what you're saying about feeding off the crowd and you know, getting them into it. After the fight on social media, whoever's been watching that fight, they're gonna be like, "Fucking bro, did you watch Adam Bramhald? He's a fucking maniac."
Yeah, I get a lot of stuff like after fights. I get a lot of people like talking to me and that, and I like it. I do my best. What I did after that fight in Sheffield, I stayed for the rest of it was Sheffield, wasn't it? I stayed for the rest of the fights, and I drove home, and I was just laid in bed. I got a few beers and just replied to every single person that had messaged me. If you got people doing that, you need to give something back. You don't want to ignore people. Like that's what I did. I got in bed, had a few beers, and just replied to everyone.
Bro, and then when we talk about the amateurs, yeah, Adam, it's quite interesting, bro, because I touch on that with a lot of other guys that I interview. You know what I mean? And how important was that experience for you, bro, at the amateur level to prepare you for what is now a kick-ass pro career?
Yeah, I had a really good amateur career in terms of like the competition that I had and stuff like that. I lost my second fight. That was an amateur fight. That was like I lost them points for that one. And then like I had some really good fights. Like I won a few after that, and then I fought for an amateur title, and I fought a kid that was so tough. But like tough people allow me to perform. It went 3 rounds. It was in Liverpool. I was the away guy. He was the home guy. And we had a right fight, and after that fight, I was kind of like, shit. I'm actually quite good at this. You need that one fight where you perform, and you actually start believing in yourself fully. And then I think I had a few more after that, and then for my last amateur fight was actually a tournament.
Oh.
And I fought a guy that was like 6-0, and a guy that was, I can't remember his record at the time, but really good. And these guys were both really good, and I actually went to a decision with both of them in the same night.
Yeah.
And after that, I was done. I think after that fight, I was like 7-1, 7-2 as an amateur. And Danny was just like, "Yeah, we'll go pro now because you're not going to fight anyone better than that as an amateur." And then I think we turned pro at the end of the year that year.
And fighting guys like that, because it seems like in your amateur career, bro, the way you're describing it is that everyone you fought was as hungry and as a killer as you were, man.
Yeah, there was some that were shit if we had pullouts and that, but those like 3 fights in particular I fought, especially the last 2, those guys, one guy was like, meant to be the next best thing or whatever, and the other guy actually lost a split decision to him or something like that. But that guy's fights for Brave now, and he's really good.
Oh shit!
Like everyone I've ever lost to has gone on to do really well, But that guy, those 2 fights were enough for me, like as an experience, and the fact that I actually thought I won that last amateur fight, but yeah, just like as an amateur, it's all about just. It doesn't matter what if you lose as an amateur, it's like that's nobody wants to lose, but you learn, it's all about experience and fighting good people as an amateur. So when you turn pro, you're not going to get taken off your feet.
That's it. And do you think? How do you feel about these guys who don't have that amateur experience? They go pro, they lose their first 2 pro fights, and they kind of shit themselves. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people that just go straight into the pro stuff, people like I mean, it's either people that are old, I don't know, it's people that are older and they need to go straight into it, or it's people that have a lot of experience in a different thing.
Yeah.
Like someone like, Owen Livesey, who fought at K-Steel.
Yeah.
He's a Commonwealth judo guy, right? And he's insane. His judo is really good. His wrestling's really good. His jiu-jitsu is really good. So he's just had sort of 6 months of striking, and now he can strike. And it's like nobody's going to be better than him on the grappling aspect. So he may as well just turn pro. Like we've got guys that have been Thai boxing for years and years and years. Like it's not fair to give them amateur fights. They can just. And there's no point if it's about.
But any young fighter coming up right now, Adam, would you recommend them to have an amateur career, like 1, 2, at least 2, 3 fights in the amateurs, and say?
I'd recommend having an amateur career, like you said, not just a couple of fights. Like I did 10 fights over 3 years. I had 10 fights. I didn't rush. I wasn't fighting all the time. I just 10 fights because I find like we've had a lot of amateurs come through us, and they're like fighting all the time, like 6 fights a year. And I always think if you're fighting all the time, you're not improving because you're just trying to be fit. You're improving a little bit, but you're not like working on specific things all the time. I think as an amateur, for my advice, I'd take a few years, at least like 3 years maybe. 10 fights. I think I had 9. I had K1 fights and stuff like that as well. Yeah. And just there's no rush to turn pro.
No.
You can't rush experience and stuff like that. And if you're having like thousands of fights, then you're not doing loads of like improvements. I don't think.
That's it.
So I definitely suggest having 10 fights as an amateur. I mean, you might not need to now because of what's available, and you might be starting younger and stuff like that. So. Because you're probably not going to have a fight until you're old enough anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely so.
A proper fight anyway, a proper fight.
Yeah, no.
When I started, there was 3 amateur rules when I started, but I only did the full contact one. You could knee to the head when I was an amateur.
Are you serious?
I like flying kneeing people in the face as an amateur. Like you can't do that now.
You can't do that shit. You can't elbow or knee. Now, why did they take that away from amateurs, bro? Now, did it get?
They took the knees out when you remember that Michael Venom Page flying knee on Cyborg where
you broke his
skull. His skull, they did it after that. Like if you watch that fight I was on about from Liverpool, like I'm throwing fucking jumping knees and everything, like I'm really knocking out with a flying knee and stuff. It's like,
these kids would get crazy. Like if there were knees and elbows allowed, they'll get nuts.
Yeah. But I think if you can't elbow, you shouldn't be able to knee. I'd rather get elbowed than knee. Like, there's a lot more force. There's a lot more force in the knee than an elbow.
Yeah, definitely, man. And we see it a lot now with the downward knees and the kicks to the balls and stuff like that. I mean, so Adam, bro, when you fought at ACB as well, man.
I fought them twice. Yeah.
You bought it for, and right now, to me, that's one of the best like promotions going in Europe, like Eastern Europe right now. They do shows in Poland.
I don't know. When I fought them, they were like the 3rd. They were just behind Bellator when I fought them.
Okay.
Yeah, they were so good. I love that.
Because when I see them now, like I see them do shows in Poland and stuff, and do some in Scotland and that too. And I'm not thinking. Yeah, man. How was that experience for you, bro? 3 fights there, you went.
That was my second pro fight. I actually fought for them. It was pretty crazy. So I had my pro debut, and then they were like, "Right, do you want to?" Well, Danny were like, "ACB want you to come." I was like, "Who's that?" And they were like, and they were like, "They're pretty." I looked them up. They were like the 3rd biggest promotion in the world. So I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, obviously I'll do it." They flew me up to. No, they didn't fly me up. I drove down to Glasgow.
Yeah.
And I fought a guy from Dundee, I think, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was tough. And that was one of my favourite fights that I've ever done. Like, I think I fought really, really good on that fight. It's such a big platform. I really. And then I went to a few of their events as well. I went to the one at Manchester, and then I fought another one for them in Sheffield, and I lost that, and that was crazy. Like, I was on a sort of 20-something, early 20s, and they're like, I'm fighting. I've got Herb Dean refereeing me. I've got Frank Mir commentating. It's like, you know, it's all getting a bit surreal, and it's so early in my career and that.
Shit.
And then I lost. Got caught in a guillotine in like the first 10 seconds.
That must be a fucking piss take. You're like, shit, I just shit the bed in front of her.
Yeah. It just looked. Every one of them, I got too worked up for it. I got too excited, and it doesn't suit me. I have to be relaxed. And stuff.
So, but say now, yeah, being as successful as you are now as a pro, and say if ACB said to you after your Cage Steel contract is up, you want to come fight for us again, do you think you'll be a lot more prepared, a lot more like ready for that opportunity?
But I mean, nowadays ACB have sort of, well, they're not even ACB anymore; they're ACA. They've sort of they're staying more Eastern Europe now. They're not doing the UK stuff. I think they were just like hemorrhaging money when they were doing that. But, well, yeah, if they wanted me to go out to Russia, I'd probably go. Yeah, if they offered me enough money.
I mean, I wish you all the best of luck, mate. I wish you all the best in your career and going forward. Yeah, and obviously I look forward to linking up with you again. And bro, it's been a blast, man. Chatting with you.
Man, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, I'm glad, man. You know what? Enjoy the night, man. Have a couple more. Yeah.
I've only had one. I've been busy talking. I've got to gym in morning, but don't affect me. Take a few with me.
No, man. You know, yeah. Instead of water, fuck water. Yeah, we got.
Don't touch the stuff.
But man, you know what? Thank you so much, Adam, man, for coming on the show.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
And chopping it up with me, man. It's been a blast. You know what I mean? And I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best going forward, man.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'll chat to you soon.
Cheers, man. Have a good night.